Hello everyone and welcome to today's healing circle. As I look up at the clock, I see it is 11:11 and happy Easter to all of those who are celebrating. Personally, I don't believe in bunnies popping Easter eggs out of their behinds, but yes, another day on this side. Very, very cold, windy, rainy, and that normally makes me happy. But yeah, let's get into our session for today. So as always, I've dowsed and gotten everything ready, and so we are ready to dive into today's session. Today we're working with the Vortex Circle. I'm using the Wands of Horus cards on the Vortex Circle, and we're using the Connecting Consciousness cards. It's Oracle deck / Tarot deck. Not yet available. I think one of two people to have a deck. So I know the person who is designing the deck, and yes, hopefully it will be available soon. I will add all the contact details in if anybody is interested in these decks. Okay, so let's start with our tune in. And perhaps close your eyes. Take a few deep breaths in and out. And just formulate in your mind what it is that you would like to work with today. What would you like to release? What would you like to receive? What would you like to let go of? What do you want to invite into your life? And when you're ready, open your eyes and allow your eyes to rest on this light code that we're using for today. Allow your eyes to trace, or perhaps just sit in a location within this light code. If you trace with your eyes, you just work with it the same way as a labyrinth, allowing your eyes to just gently move over the lines, following the curves and the corners. Think about what it is that you would like to receive, let go of, call into your life. What would you like to focus on in today's session? Take as much time here as you need and pause the recording if you need more time. So, for the work that we're doing today, whenever working with the Vortex work, we are working with a bunch of emotions, and some of the emotions you may connect with, some you may not connect with. If you find one of these emotions that you do not connect with, then I would say imagine that you have this emotion or that you feel this emotion. Perhaps take yourself back to a time when you have felt the emotion. Really get as deep into that emotion as possible and allow yourself to feel it as deeply as possible. The deeper we can feel with this work, the deeper we can heal. And I keep saying this in each session. So let's have a look at what came up for today. So first of all, we've got the Vortex Circle for the Endocrine System. Now the Endocrine System is all of the glands in the body: pineal, pituitary, thymus, thyroid, ovaries, testes, pancreas, and so forth. And these glands connect up with the chakra system. So this particular balance would help balance and correct any issues within the chakra system. But when we get endocrine system, it almost goes a little bit more on the physical level. So we're working in reverse from physical level up to the emotional, mental, spiritual, etheric levels. Whereas if we had a circle for the chakras, we would have worked from the other side. We would have worked from the spiritual levels down to the physical. So perhaps there's also something happening within your physical body, whether it's hormone related, or anything endocrine related. That is what we are working with today. I've got the light code in the center, and in the center we also have the divine child that anchors in the vortex that's created by these various cards in their locations. And so the cards are placed in the locations based on the energies and frequencies in the specific location, each location representing a different system or energy within itself. So there's a lot of unspoken information in the circle, but it's not important for us to know all of this as long as you can see the grid, and that's okay. Even if you don't see the grid, when we start working, it doesn't really matter whether you can see the grid or not. What I then did was I checked to see if there were any cards needed, and the expanding or connecting consciousness cards came up, and we've got 2 cards. These ones fell out as I was shuffling and while focusing on this circle. So the first one is Shattering Illusion, and this is about the illusions that we have around us. There's something that's breaking down, something that we need to let go of, something that no longer serves. And it's almost like we've known for a while that this didn't serve, but we kept holding on to it for some reason, and now the universe is almost forcefully removing this illusion from our sight, and we have no choice but to let go and to trust that whatever is going to happen here is going to be for our highest good. And when we do that, as we release whatever this is that we need to release, albeit a bit forceful and not so much fun, this will take us through to new insight, deeper vision and insight. So perhaps delving into the emotions, delving into our deep psyche, into the unconscious or subconscious. Perhaps receiving information from spirit, whether it be your higher self, your guide, or whatever that may be. So there's some new messages, new directions, new deep healing that's coming with this release, even though this release is not much fun. But it has to be done. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to have a look while we're at this. Perhaps what I'll do is I'll switch my video on, just so I've got a little bit of something there, and let's just have a look at what we, maybe I can make myself bigger for today. Let's have a look at everything that came up, just information wise, in relation to this specific vortex. I've got my, okay, there we go. It's decided to remove my video all in one. Let's quickly just get back in here. There we go. Let's see if it'll work now. Okay, there we go. I've just got my notes ready so that we can go through. Okay, so first of all, the main emotion for today's session is delay, and it's in relation to libido. Okay, we could take that literally, delay in relation to libido. Perhaps libido is down. Libido is also, it could also be creative drive or creative force. It could be vitality, energy. And so on some level there is a delay. The dimension on top of this emotion is karma. So whatever this delay in relation to libido is that we may be going through, karma has some into play. So this could be a release or a clearing of past karma. Then we look at our sabotage or our limiting belief, and that is, it is okay for me to have my own view of the world, to be who I am, and to test my power. Or it is not okay for me to have my own view of the world, to be who I am and to test my power. So on some level there could be a conflict or a reversal about us having a worldview and being able to exert or test our power within this worldview. And the emotion on top of this sabotage is determined, and it's in relation to clothing. This is a weird one. We get some weird things today. Determined in relation to clothing. So it could be that you have some clothing items that present a specific stance or concept that you want to bring out into the world, testing your power and having a worldview. Determined is having that force behind you. Clothing is also where we cover up. This is where we perhaps hide. If we go a little bit more on a metaphysical level, are we determined to hide our worldview behind a cloak or a veil, or to test our power in relation to our worldview by putting a cloak on? See what makes sense to you. Perhaps you have something that just immediately comes to mind. For each of you, something will come to mind that is specific to you and your situation. Just as always, bring whatever insights you gain back to your goal and your intention that we had for today. Really important to bring it back to the goal, because if you change your goal tomorrow and watch the same video again, you are going to gain different information. And this is why that tune in and goal setting or focus setting is so important, because it's going to change the values and the information that you receive within the session. Okay, so now we're going to go through our set of emotions, and I've written these down. They are actually on the chart. You can't see them on there, but they are sitting behind all of those things. I have them directly on this chart here. Perhaps make a note of these emotions and see how they relate to you and your situation and also your goal. So the first emotion is glum, and it's in relation to strict. So glum is to be depressed, or maybe disappointed, maybe despondent. And so strict. Who in your life, or where in your life are you strict? Who is strict around you? What strict rules have you got set up for yourself, or what have others set up for you? And how does this make you depressed or disappointed, maybe even despondent? Again, pause this video at any moment if you want to, just make a few notes. It's actually very powerful to make some notes, write down your insights that come as I mention these emotions, and perhaps when we get to the healing section of this work, if you have a piece of paper, if you can hold that between your hands while we do the work, because then the energy from this vortex will beam out through you and into your hands and through that into that piece of paper. If you make your notes on that, it'll just enhance the healing work for today. The next emotion is compromising, and it's in relation to self-respect. Where is your self-respect being compromised? How does that relate to your goal? How does that fit in with everything that we're focusing on today? The next one is dig at, to take a dig at, or maybe digging at, and it is miasms. Miasms are stains on the DNA. So this is not your fault. This is not from you. This is usually from your parents or their parents or their parents or their parents. And it could be a defect or something that sits on the DNA level. It could be mental, emotional, or spiritual, or physical. And the stain is then passed on from one family to the next, or from one generation to the next, to the next, to the next. Could be just one generation old, could be 5 generations, or could be 13 generations old, we don't know. But the way that I see this dig at miasms is perhaps that the work that we're doing here is digging at, or it is chipping away at any stains that we may have on the DNA. So I don't think you need to write too much or anything on this particular one, but if something specific comes to mind for you, then just write that down. Then we've got vicious, and it's in relation to fertility. So fertility ties in again with the libido, I guess. Fertility could also be about abundance and creativity, so it can be seen in many different layers. Vicious, that's sort of a little bit aggressive maybe or something, but again, just see what comes up for you in relation to vicious, in relation to fertility. How does that fit in with your focus for today? And then final emotion that we have is rue, as in the herb rue, the very bitter rue, and it's in relation to religion. So rue in this case would be about regrets, especially bitter regrets that we have, and it's in relation to religion. Where are you regretting, or what are you regretting in relation to religion? And this could be something that's quite old. It may not be from now. Just see how that relates. How does that relate to your focus and intention for today? I then check to see if there's a dimension and where the dimension connect in with all of these emotions. And we got misalignment of purpose, and that connects with rue in relation to religion. So whatever these regrets are that you have towards religion, perhaps you regret that religion couldn't support you when you were younger. Perhaps you have regrets that religion can't support you now where you are. Perhaps it's something else. But whatever that regrets are, actually, those regrets we need to let go of, because that, the more we sit thinking about that, it takes us off our purpose. There's a misalignment of purpose. So not a good one to have in place. Okay, then moving along, I checked the archetypes. I always check for a negative and a positive archetype. Our negative archetype here is the advocate, or the attorney, the defender, or something like that. So this is about perhaps embracing causes or commitments that does not serve your best interest, or that is specific for your own personal gain, where you perhaps don't take other people's feelings or emotions into play. And then the balancing archetype we're looking for is the mystic, and this is about getting in contact with our intimate union with the divine, so connecting with the divine. Okay, and again, see how these fit in with your focus. I then checked to see whether there was an Aura Soma bottle. Let's quickly just get in here. And our Aura Soma bottle that came up is the royal blue over magenta, and the bottle title is Queen Mab. It's bottle 116, so 116. And Queen Mab bottle is all about reconnecting to ourselves, and it's got a very strong relation to inner child work. So really almost connecting to the inner child, and that helps us to reconnect ourselves to ourselves. The bottle is all about introspection, so it's about going within. It takes us to a space where we can live our divine love, and with it comes a clarity and also an intensity. And ultimately what this does is it shows us our soul mission and gives us an opportunity to love what is. There is an affirmation that goes with this bottle, and that is, I trust my intuition. I trust my intuition. I trust my intuition. Okay, so I'm going to take it back to our spread, and here what we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of work. Now, first of all, if anything gets too intense, or if anything feels like it's shifting and it feels uncomfortable, we've got two hand positions that we're going to hold, or two, well, each of the hands are going to be on a position. The one hand is going to go on the solar plexus, just on your, above your navel, and the other hand goes onto your heart, onto your chest. So it doesn't matter which one of the two hands you place there, but if anything feels like it's too intense or too hard, or you feel like you're struggling processing any of the emotions, just place your hands onto those 2 points. So one hand on the heart, one hand on the solar plexus. First of all, what this particular hand holds are all about is it's there to stimulate the lymphatic system. It also stimulates our small intestine, and I think on the more energetic level, what it does is it gets us more in alignment with our purpose. And as we've seen earlier, there was a misalignment of purpose where we are pulling in the wrong direction. So whenever you feel that you're being pulled out of the balance perhaps, or something doesn't feel comfortable, something doesn't resonate, or however that works, hand on the heart, hand on the solar plexus. If you have your piece of paper where you made any notes on, you can hold those between your two palms. And if you feel something gets too intense, just put that down, hand on the heart, hand on the solar plexus. And when you feel aligned again, grab your piece of paper and then hold on to that again. So what we're going to do is we're going to run through a series of questions or statements, and you may want to just keep track of what these mean to you. If you are holding onto your sheet of paper, as things come up, you can add to that by just writing onto that and then putting it back in your hands, and spend as much time here as you need. So feel free to pause the recording as we go along. So I'm going to switch myself off so we can focus only on the grid. On my side, what I'm doing is I have the Divine Masculine, Divine Feminine cards. Maybe I can actually just come back to here. So I've got these two cards with me, and I will be doing like a vortex motion over this whole grid, where I'm going to use this to stir up the energy within the chart and within the grid. And so I will be periodically doing that to just get the energies to flow. Just quickly get myself organized. So I'll be busy with that while I'm also going to be asking questions. So let's get comfy, make some notes as you need to, and let's come back to this image. And we're going to start with our first question. So just get yourself settled in. I have these cards ready with me. I'm just going to quickly do a little spin vortex wise just to get things going a little bit. I want you to close your eyes. And first thing I want you to do is to connect to your body. Just get a sense of what your body feels like. Any discomfort, any places where it feels good, anywhere where it feels not so good. Just be aware of what's happening there. No judgment. Just having a look. Scrolling through your body from head down to your toes. And get a sensation of what that feels like. Next, we need to connect to a person. Now, this person, you will have to decide who this person is that you need to connect with. Perhaps someone who is there to help you, perhaps someone who is there blocking your way, perhaps someone who is just causing a bit of trouble for you. Whoever this person may be, connect with this person, think about this person now. If you don't have a person, just whoever pops to mind immediately. Could be someone you know really well, someone you never think about. Just allow this person who you need to connect with to pop up. How does this person relate to your focus and your intention for today? How can this person help or block you in your focus and intention today? Okay, for our next point, you will most likely have to pause the video for this particular one. We are asked to get physical. So taking the information from your body, perhaps you're feeling a little bit tense or tight or cramped up or whatever it may be, taking this person that you're connected with, how does this person make you feel? And we need to get physical. So this could be anything. It could be jumping around on the spot. It could be punching a pillow. It could be doing some pull-ups, whatever, punching in the air. But we need to do something physical. So I invite you now to pause this video and to do some form of action that's going to release the energy that needs to be released right now, or invite in the energy that needs to be invited in right now. So you do that. I'm going to do my spins on this side as my form of action that I am feeding into this grid for you. And so take your time to do something physical. Don't be worried about what people think of you or whatever. Hopefully you can do this in a place where there's no one around. But usually punching a pillow is actually quite a handy one to do. But we need to have some form of action. Okay, hopefully you've done that action. Remember, the deeper we feel, the deeper we heal. The more information you can gather, the more you can do within the session, the better it will be for you. Next, we are asked to connect with our soul. So perhaps close your eyes and just set the intention. I want to connect with my soul. Becoming aware of any sensations, any images, any feelings. How can your soul help you to work with today's intention and focus? Next, we want to connect to a teacher. This could be a real teacher, as in someone who's alive. It could be someone who has passed over already. It could be a spiritual teacher. Perhaps it could even be one of your guides or something. Which teacher would you like to connect with? Next, we want to connect to a nature spirit. Perhaps this is a forest spirit, a water spirit, mountain spirit. Which spirit could help you now in your focus and intention? Okay, just set the intention that you want to focus on these nature spirits. Next, you want to connect to a deceased person. This is either a family member or perhaps someone really special in your life who have passed on beyond the veil. Next, you want to connect to nature. And then we want to connect to the angels. Or perhaps there's a particular angel that you have an affinity to. Then we want to connect to an ancestor. And then we want to connect to your body again. Scan through your body, and how does your body feel now with all of these energies that we've connected with? Also the vortex that I'm busy working with here. How does your body feel now? Is there any difference? Does it feel the same? Does it perhaps feel more expanded? Let's take note of these sensations. Now I've done quite a few connections here with different energies. Who else do you feel that you need to communicate with? What do you need to say to this person? How will you say it? Let's connect back to the body again. How does your body feel now? Allow you to feel even more. Go deeper into whatever feelings you have, emotions. Really getting deep. And now allow yourself to receive a message. This message can come through in any way, shape or form, whether it's words or images. Just allow yourself to receive a message. Perhaps it's quite subtle, perhaps it's really, really in your face there. Going to do one more spin over here over this vortex. Let's maybe just add this on. Let's lock all of this in. First thing you want to do is we want to locate those 3 red dots. So if you draw a line from your eyeballs down to the edge of the ribs, that is the first 2 points. You can just use, I use middle finger and my thumb on those 2 points, and then I put my index finger just up so I form an equilateral triangle. Or you could use your other hand, doesn't really matter. So just press those 3 points You could use ring finger and middle finger, whatever works for you here. Once you've got that, we're going to place the fingertips pointing towards the heart and also to the solar plexus. It's just the tips pointing to the heart. And just hold that there. And you may find that as you hold, your fingers will slowly start moving away from the body. Next one, you're going to place all your fingers in a row above the brow, so in a straight line up, and the other hand's going to float above the crown. This is just to get ourselves nicely anchored into our bodies again. And when you feel ready, you can release that one. And then last one, take your middle fingers and just press that on the mastoid process, that round bone behind your ear. So if you just draw a line from your earlobes back to that round bone, just press with your middle fingers in, and that will lock it all into position. And then you can let go. Okay, so then I did a search for, or checked to see if there's any homework. So this balance is done and complete for now. How are you feeling? I've got quite a bit of tingles and expansive energies going around, so I'm feeling good. So I'm hoping you also had some of that, tingles and sensations. So for homework, if you did write down your notes, perhaps just review the information in there and see how you can apply all of that into your life. Other homework that you have here, the first thing that came up is bodybuilding supplements. We have some weird things here, libido and fertility came up, and now bodybuilding supplements. I'm not going to tell you what bodybuilding supplements it is that you need here. It could be that you just need a protein shake. Perhaps you need to get something that's going to work with amino acids, perhaps, or something like that. Just have a look around. I don't know what your gym activities are like, and if you need anything around that. But yeah, gym supplements is one, and then the other one is autogenic training. Autogenic training is a technique where we teach our body to respond to verbal commands. So I haven't researched this one enough. This was just happened to be in my list of homework, but I'm going to go check this out and see how this works. But I guess it will be something similar to your cognitive behavioral therapies or something like that, where we're teaching our body to react or respond in a different way. And so here we're looking at verbal commands. Perhaps there could be some words that come up that are triggering for you, and you want to always train your body to not be triggered by those. I don't know if that's correct. I'm going to go research this one myself as well. But that's our homework. So bodybuilding supplements, and then this autogenic training. I will put it in the notes as well below. So that concludes our healing session for today. I hope that you gained quite a bit of insight here. There was a lot of connection in this particular one. Usually we get a lot of questions, but in this one it was connecting to soul, teacher, nature, deceased person, nature, nature, spirit, nature, angels, ancestor, body. I must say, I have never had a balance before where there was so many energies we had to connect with. And so again, I see that as something that is needed or was needed in today's session for whatever reason, and perhaps something that you want to continue working with in the next few days or weeks until the next healing session. Okay, so that concludes our session for today then. I'm sending you lots of love and light, and then I can't wait to see you in our next session. Enjoy the rest of your holiday if you are celebrating Easter, and we'll see you in the next session. Take care. Bye.